So are you a new sewer, or are you interested in becoming a sewer and you're just not exactly sure where to start? Well, I started sewing just about a year ago after 25 plus years of not sewing ever. Last time I sewed was high school, which was a long time ago. And so I recently got back into it, and I have 6 things that I think have been essential in being successful at starting the sewing journey, learning to sew journey. And here they are. Number 1 is the sewing machine, which, of course, you know that. I don't think that you have to run out and buy an expensive sewing machine. Mine was a hand-me-down from my mother-in-law, and it's a basic Singer Scholastic, and it doesn't have anything computerized. It's very simple with just knobs and buttons, and it took me long enough to figure that out, so I figure I am good for the time being in with just this basic sewing machine, and it's allowed me to sew things like these dresses. So it's fine. You don't need anything super fancy in order to sew. So that was number 1. Number 2 is this, a seam ripper. My friend that got me into sewing said,
Susan, make friends with your seam ripper and just know you're going to make mistakes.
It's okay, because this seam ripper you can like just cut the threads without cutting your fabric. Although if you're not careful, you can cut your fabric, so don't do that. But say you sew your sleeves on backwards on your dress.
Something's very wrong with this picture. Like, this sleeve is this nice little poofy little sleeve. This sleeve is like this huge gigantic sleeve. I don't know what I did.
And you're about to cut the sleeves because you don't know why they look weird. And instead you use you remember you have your seam ripper, and you just take it out and then you reattach correctly. So this little guy will save you much frustration. And it was very inexpensive, probably Hobby Lobby, probably a few bucks. So that would be number 2. Number 3, scissors. These I've deemed fabric only scissors, and they are actually fabric scissors. I got as a gift from one of my kids for, my birthday or something, because kids never, especially boys, never know what to get you. So these little things make good gifts, and you can get them on sale for pretty cheap. And everybody knows that these are my fabric only scissors, not for school projects, not for models, not for cutting open meat. I don't know. So, fabric only. So though, number 4 would be a ruler. Maybe not just this ruler. This is a tiny one, and I don't know what this blue thing is for. So if anybody knows what the little slidey thing is for, or these little notches, let me know. But having one with like centimeters and inches is good, because some of the patterns you'll get will be in centimeters, because a lot of people on YouTube are not American and they actually use the metric system. So it's good to have one with both. And you can even get one at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. But this was good. And then you might want to graduate up to something a little larger. So my friend found this in a thrift store. So it has these weird Velcro bits on it, but it's great. It has the inches up here, and it's very handy for making like bags and things like that, and longer pieces of fabric because it's pretty long. But you can find good deals on sewing equipment at thrift stores. So that's a good place to check if you're just starting out. You don't want to invest a lot of money. And then next to last would be some pins. So just pins, but you need something to keep your pins in. And for a while there, I was using a plastic cup, but this thing will fall over, and then you got pins all over your ground. And if you are barefoot like me, you might step on them. So this guy is handy because this is magnetic. So the pins just stay stuck to it. And you can, if you knock this off, which is prone to happen, you just can suck them up with a magnet. So this is really handy. This little holder was only $5 on Amazon. So definitely you need pins, but a little pin holder like this is nice to have too. You can also, you know, get the old school kind as well. That's perfectly fine. All right. And then of the must-haves is some sort of way to mark your fabric without ruining your fabric. So this is Taylor's chalk. I don't necessarily recommend this particular one because it breaks really easily. But other people I've seen use these little chalk pens or disappearing ink. And so if you might want to investigate something like that instead of this. But you do need something to mark your fabric. Those are my top 6. And then there's some other things that I've gotten along the way that have just made the job a little bit easier. So these are not necessities, but nice to haves. So one would be these little clippers. I think this was it was a set of 2. And it was like 2 for $5 on Amazon, and they're metal and they're really sharp, but this is for clipping, you know, your thread. Like when you get done sewing a piece, then you come in and you clip your thread, or if you just want to trim little threads, it's just handy. It's just nice to have. It's not a necessity. Another nice to have is a rotary wheel or a rotary cutter. A lot of people, I think if you do quilting, these are probably handier. And maybe some people like them for dressmaking, but I felt like I had to have this, and then I've just found myself gravitating more towards just my scissors in the last few months. So I still like it. It's very sharp, and it does make, you know, cutting pretty easy, but I don't know, I just kind of go back to the old school scissors. If you do have one of these, or do get one of these, you might want a cutting mat. So this allows you to cut without like ruining your table. And it also has a little ruler all around it. So it's easy if you're measuring, you know, when I've done a lot of bags, you know, you need more like square pieces. And so this helps you measure pretty easily. So, and again, look for these on sale or thrifted. And then another thing, I don't have my sewing room is in my basement, and I don't have my iron down here. So I got this little iron pad, so like a little heating pad, so you don't melt your table when you're ironing. And I don't have my iron down here, so I use my little Cricut iron. When I have to do like a big piece or whatever, I'll take it upstairs and I'll use my big iron. And one day I will get an ironing board and everything down here probably, but right now this is nice. It doesn't take up really any space, and has done the job. And last but not least is some clips. These are little plastic clips, and I think I got this like 100 for like $5 on Amazon. And this has been handy, like again, for making bags. You have a lot of like padded material. It just kind of helps hold it all together. When I'm using like finer fabrics, I found that pins seem to do a better job of holding it, whereas the fabric can slide around a little bit more when it's silkier. So that's just a difference, but it's another nice to have. And that is it. That's my top things for a brand new sewer. As you can see, most of it was under $20. So you can collect over time, you know, just get your few essentials and get started, and then you'll kind of find your way along the way. If you would like to follow along with a newbie sewer, just trying to figure out this whole sewing business, give me a like and a follow, and I will see you next time. Thanks.